All right. Good afternoon. Welcome. Prop the mic here. How's it going, Dave?
I'm good, man.
Yeah.
PTM is back. Rough night, but we're jazzed up. We're ready to go for
Yes.
another night.
You have to just take a little breather. It's a good thing we got the All-Star break coming up. There's just so much volatility right now, so much movement, different lineups. It's, got to tread lightly. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, especially like you said, there's a lot of uncertainty right now around lineups. I think you pointed this out on a couple pods ago. Once we get into mid-March, that's where the playoff push is going to be, and that'll be exciting. I think we'll get some real consistency on who's playing. But regardless, we got what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4,
Fiver.
A fiver, right?
A fiver.
After 11 games last night, and we're gonna give you our best of the best.
All right, let's rock.
All right, so first we got first, before we dive into the games, I did have one thing. You were talking about the All-Star game. They did announce the 3-point contest lineup. Did you see who that was?
No, I didn't.
All right, so let me do the official announcement for the show. We got Tatum, Huerter, Hero, Halliburton, Hield, Lillard, Simons, and Markkanen. It's a pretty good lineup.
That's fun. Yeah, I like that.
So once the odds come out, we're going to send that out and try to do a poll and see who people are pulling for there.
All right. I like you got the teammates. Dame and Simon's the only two teammates on there?
Yeah, those are the only two teammates. Oh no, you got Hield and Halliburton too.
Oh, Hield and okay.
Right. And I think it's in Utah, so Markkanen is obviously the hometown favorite.
Yeah.
So
nice.
All right. All right. So first game, we got 7:30 Magic at the Raptors. Raptors are -7. Total is 221.5. This is actually the fourth meeting of these two teams this year.
Yeah.
And there's one particular guy who just went berserk in all three games. So hopefully, both of us are on him.
All right. Let's see. Matchup wise, real quick, forwards and point guards against Orlando, and forwards and wings against Toronto are the best matchups. I did a little extra digging today because I don't love looking at this matchup stuff just because so many teams have changed. So I did a little digging just into like how teams have been performing just since last Monday. So just the last week to kind of see like who's at the top of this, who's at the bottom of that, to kind of try to help us focus in on or narrow in on a play or two.
Okay.
So the one that popped out to me here was Toronto's number is 26th in opponent field goal percentage at the rim over the last week. So I wanted to look for somebody, ideally who was from one of those positions, forward and wing. Forward and point guard that does a lot of his scoring at the rim.
Right.
So who do I like here? Franz Wagner, 16.5 points, -110. So the reason I like this is he takes 41% of his shots at the rim. That's 86th percentile for his position. And he's shooting 66% on those shots, which is actually good for 66th percentile. So top, 2/3 of the league at his position. This is where it gets extra juicy. He's done this in 7 of 9 on a back-to-back this season, and 6 of those 7 were on the road, which is on the road tonight.
Yep, I saw that.
If you take out games where he played less than 22 minutes, he's done this in 7 of 7 games on a back-to-back this season. And I would say that he'll play more than 22 minutes tonight in this game. And then he's also done this in 11 of 15 overall on the road this season. So that's my play on the Orlando side.
Yeah, I think you may also be leaving out I don't think you said it, the matchups against Toronto too. In his 3 games against Toronto, he had, my handwriting's a little messy here, but 9 in the first one, so he didn't cover there. That was at Toronto. But then the next 2, he had 34 points and I think it was 23.
Oh, yeah, 34 and 23. Yep.
Yeah, 23. So the last 2 games against Toronto, be it they were at home, he did have monster games. So I think you combine that with everything you said, and he seems like a really good play tonight.
Makes it a good play tonight. Yeah, I'm into this
for sure. I like that one too.
All right. And then on the Toronto side, was Siakam the guy you were talking about?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He's just destroyed Orlando.
So I like him two different ways tonight. I like 11.5 rebounds and assists, minus 135. He's done it in 5 straight against Orlando, 3 this season, 2 last season. And he's averaging 15.5 RA in those games. And then I like separately his points, 25.5 points, minus 115. He's done this in his last 7 of 9 at home. And the last 2 times he played Orlando at home, he had 26 and 34.
Yeah. Yeah, the 3 matchups against Orlando this year, even the 2 on the road, 26, 8, and 10, 36, 9, and 7, and 19, 6, and 7. So all really good matchups. His RA, you said tonight, was 11.5.
Yep.
Against the 3 games this year, he's had 18, 16, and 13, right? So he's cleared that by good margin. I personally went with the assists. His assists were over 5.5. But in the 3 games, he's had 10, 7, and 7. So cleared it by good margin. And that was actually plus 120 when I locked it in earlier. So I think either of those are good plays, assists or RA. And I think the points is good too. The weird thing about him though is each of those stats, points, RA, and assists, all 3 for 10, 3 for his last 10. It's only when you get to the home cut, is where he's 7 for the last 10 for all 3. So he actually 6 for 10 for RA. So I think he really is a guy who steps up at home.
Yeah. All right, so we'll have to figure out. I mean, maybe even a par. I looked at par a little bit, so it seems we're all over him. We just have to figure out which iteration of this we like for Siakam tonight. But he's definitely a play from this game.
Yeah, I might even be playing 2. I might even be going with assists and points or something like that as well. Yeah. Both of those plays. So anyway, so that was good. We're on the same page on that game. You good there?
Yep, that's all I got.
All right, so next game we got the Celtics at the Bucks. Bucks are -9. Total is 225.5 in this game. This is a weird one because these 2 teams played on Christmas Day. The Celtics, it was at home. The Celtics crushed the Bucks. Giannis had 27 and 9. Who else had a big game? Brown had 29 points. Tatum had 41, 7 and 5. But now today, Tatum's out. I'm pretty sure he was doubtful.
Yeah, he's out. He's out now.
Brown is out. Smart's still out. I think Brogdon might even be out.
No, Brogdon's playing.
He is? Oh, good.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was questionable before. So a lot of uncertainty on the Celtics side, but the Bucks are more or less fully loaded.
Yeah. I'm staying off this game. I don't know what to expect from Boston with there's no historical data to look at with both Brown and Tatum out of the lineup. I just against a red hot Milwaukee team, I'm staying away from this game. Point guards on both sides are the matchups we can look at to target. And then over the last week, just interestingly, Milwaukee is dead last in opponent mid-range shot attempts. And Boston's number 28th in opponent mid-range shot attempts. So those were the 2 areas where they were both the weakest. But yeah, I'm not doing anything with that information tonight. So
yeah, I wanted to play Derek White, but his line is all the way up to like 18.5, 19.5, something like that. It's funny. I pulled up his chart on props.cash and I got excited about a trend. The games where he didn't play without Brown and Tatum.
Because he was in San Antonio.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, but the funny thing, even there, even when he was in San Antonio, he was under the 19.5 every game.
Oh, really?
So he might be a good underplay tonight, but like you said, there's not enough to go by.
Yeah.
And he's really hot right now, so I'd probably lay off of that.
Yeah, let's not force it and be smart and just lay off.
Yeah. I mean, let me just throw one more. The only play that I was kind of on, again, not a strong play, but Lopez against Boston.
Okay.
Even Robert Williams was questionable earlier. I'm not sure if he's playing, but over 12.5 points, minus 130. He had 16 against Boston on that Christmas Day game. If you don't like the full game play, you could also do Lopez first quarter over 3.5 points. He's actually done that in 8 of his last 10. So I think those are the two plays that I was considering.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Next, we got the Kings at the Suns. Suns are minus 2.5. Total is 233.5. Durant is obviously not playing yet.
Nope.
Assuming he's going to wait till after the All-Star break. But Booker's back for this game. So
seems to be on a minute restriction, though, right?
Yeah, he played in his first 2 games. He played about 25 minutes, which is the typical minute restriction. It is usually around the 3rd or 4th game back where that jumps up to 30. And usually, what you usually see is they'll kind of push it only if it's a close game, right?
Yeah.
So this is projected to be a 3-point game. Again, I don't know what he's going to play, but he is a good play tonight against the Kings if he plays 30 minutes, 25 minutes. It's tough to get 24.5 points.
Yes. Yeah, that's for sure. So I'm a little hesitant there just because I don't know. And with the All-Star break coming up, I don't know if maybe they, don't try to push him here and just give him, keep those minutes restricted. He probably only plays one more game, before the All-Star break, I think.
Right.
So, and then he's got basically a week off. So who knows? But matchup wise against Sacramento, combo guards and wings, they've actually surpassed Washington as the best team to target combo guards against. And then against Phoenix, also combos. So over the last week, this was one that was really popping out here. Sacramento is 25th in opponent 3-point attempts and 28th in opponent 3-point shooting percentage. So definitely threes on the Phoenix side were something I wanted to look at. And they were also 25th in opponent field goal percentage at the rim over the last week. So I got to I don't know if you mentioned Malik Monk is out tonight.
I didn't.
Okay. But, I know he's not a starter, but I wanted to. He does play some decent minutes for them. I mean, he runs that second unit kind of. So I wanted to see if anybody was popping, when you took him out of the lineup. So there was one guy, Mr. Kevin Huerter. His 2 games without Malik Monk this season, his line was 17-6-3 with 3 threes and 2 steals, and 15-8-5 with 3 threes and 2 steals. So I like his PR here tonight, 17.5 PR. It's minus 125. In both games without Monk this season, he had 23 PR. He's also done it in 3 straight games on 2 days rest. So he likes that little bit extra. And then back on November 28th, he had 28 PR against Phoenix. Yeah,
it's really good. And he plays a lot of minutes. I think if Malik Monk is out, he's going to play 36 plus minutes in this game. So
I love this play.
Should be a tight game. So that's a great play. I saw that one as well. Anybody else that you got?
So this guy doesn't play a ton of minutes, but just super recent. Terrence Davis with Monk out of the lineup on Saturday, he had 22 points. His line's 10.5 tonight. He had 6 rebounds. His line's 3.5. And he had 3 assists and his line's 1.5. So
what did I tell you about Terrence Davis? Terrence, I'm going to shoot the ball every time I touch it, Davis. He's a good play. I couldn't remember his name, but I do remember that he loves to shoot. So
okay, so over 10.5 points. Let's do it.
All right, cool. You did mention on the Sun side, the 3-point is a good opportunity. You got anybody for that?
So the guy I really like for this, I also like the matchup at the wing position, is Damion Lee, but there was no props out on him yet. But I like his 3-point. It's probably 1.5. When it comes out later, I think I'm really going to like that. The other one I was into was Torrey Craig. He's another wing for this team.
He seems to be getting a lot of minutes. Bridges minutes, until Durant steps in,
Yes. So what I liked here is that if you remember, I pointed out that they were 3-point attempts and percentage was a good way to target Sacramento, and also they were 25th in opponent field goal percentage at the rim. So I dug through Phoenix's lineup. I wanted to see who scores that way, who's either at the rim or from deep and has no mid-range game. And that's Torrey Craig. He takes 34% of his shots at the rim, 47% of his shots from three. I think that leaves, 18% of his shots from mid-range. So this is where he does his scoring. This is where Sacramento has been giving up a lot of points. He's cleared 7.5 points in his last 2 games against Sacramento, including 11 points against Sacramento on November 28th.
Yeah, it's good value there. I always, one of the first things after I look up Capella's rebounds for the day.
Yeah,
which is my first thing I look at. The second thing I look at is who's got the lowest point line of the day. Because once in a while you'll find a little gem like we found the other day with Tucker and 2.5 points.
Yeah.
Torrey Craig is the lowest point line of the day at 7.5 when I looked up earlier. So that seems to be good value, especially given the minutes he's getting.
Yeah,
you probably got couple more games of him getting real minutes until Durant's back.
Yeah,
and then you can't play him.
So let's take advantage.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Hear me out. I did say Booker at 24.5 points is not a great value.
Yeah,
but I do think his threes are a decent value. So his line was 2.5 threes. It was plus 105. So you get plus money for 3 threes. The reason why I like it is he's been back 2 games. First game he shot 2 for 8.
Yeah.
The second game he shot 3 for 9. Both of those in 25 minutes. So he's getting 8 to 9 attempts, right? First game he rusty, whatever, and he still hit 2. Second game back he hit 3. But with the volume that he's getting against this type of matchup, I think he's going to get 3 threes tonight. And then as a kicker, if he does get those extra 5 minutes of playing time tonight, then you're golden. You're probably getting a plus 105 bet that should be a minus 130. So I think
really like this. Yeah, I wanted to find something. I mean, the 3-point, it's just calling for us to bet somebody to shoot a bunch of threes tonight, right? So the reason I didn't go with Booker is because he's if you look at his mid-range game, he's in the 97th percentile from mid, but when you go to the threes, he's in the 30s or 40s percentile. So it's not great at his position, but I think everything you just said kind of counterbalances that. And given this the production from 3 against Sacramento's opponents over the last week, I like that quite a bit.
Yeah. So I do a small play on it, but I think at plus money, that's good value.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Nice fun.
We got the Warriors at the Clippers. It's a 10 p.m. Eastern game. Clippers are minus 8.5. Totals 227.5. Warriors are coming off of a big win. They won last night, right, against the Wizards. And what's standing out? There's some good matchups here, I think.
There are some good matchups, and I think my favorite play of the day is from this game. So you got Clippers. Golden State point guard is the position to target. Unfortunately, Clippers don't really have a point guard. And then against the Clippers, bigs and forwards, those front court guys. So that's what you can look. This is the stat that really popped out to me here. Golden State over the last week is 29th in opponent mid-range shot attempts and 26th in opponent mid-range field goal percentage. And then also 27th in opponent field goal percentage at the rim. So whose game on the Clippers does that fit?
Kawhi
Leonard, baby. 22.5 points. Is it?
Yeah, it's such a good play.
It is, dude. It really is.
I'll throw some more gems out there. He's 14 of 16 in games where he's played 33 plus minutes. Right? What else I got there? He's averaging, for his games since January, I think it was 6th or something like that. So I'm looking at the beginning of this year, more or less.
Yeah.
He's hit this in 7 out of 9 games, and he's averaging 37 minutes in those games and averaging 27.8 points.
Dude.
This guy is on fire. And he's in a matchup that he can totally dominate against a team that's tired.
Yep.
This is such a good play. I love Kawhi tonight. It's so much value. I think he's a 27 point
I'm a
cash.
little scared that this is both our like hands down favorite play. That doesn't always work so well for us, but I'm gonna forget about all that because I love this. Yeah.
Oh, let me stat correct myself. It wasn't 7 for 9, 13 for 15 crossing this line, 22.5.
Wow.
Since January 8th.
Wow.
13 for 15,
dude. I love it.
And most of these games, he's crushing it. So yes, he's a good play. There is a possibility of a blowout.
It's a low line, though. He could get,
8.5. I mean, the Clippers kind of let people hang in the game most of the time. So I love that play. It's a good one.
The other one I like, because Golden State's been so terrible from mid-range defense. Kawhi takes 54% of his shots from mid-range. That's in the 97th percentile at his position. And he's shooting 51% on mid-range shots, and that's in the 92nd percentile. So he's just dominating where Golden State is not good right now. So
who guards him? Wiggins?
Wiggins would guard him, I would think. Yeah.
It's tough though. I tried to pull some historical information on him versus like this Warriors team, and
when you don't play for 2 years,
he hasn't played, so it's like you are getting a little uncertainty about the matchup, but still. We're deep enough into the season. I feel pretty good about this one. Good.
Yep.
Anybody else in this game?
Yeah, the other one that was popping that I liked for the Clippers, also because he does most of his scoring mid-range and at the rim, was Terrence Mann. So it's 9.5 points, minus 120. He takes 43% of his shots at the rim. That's 91st percentile, and he's shooting 68%. He's done this in his last 3 of 5 versus Golden State, including at 17 points against Golden State on November 23rd. He's also cleared this in 4 straight games and his last 6 of 8 at home. So I like that. Definitely not nearly as heavy of a play as Kawhi, but I like it. I also like to go ahead. Sorry,
I thought we had a rule on Terrence Mann not playing him if Kawhi and George were both playing, right?
Okay, forget I said anything.
I mean, he's a good play, but I remember watching the game that we were on him, and like Kawhi and George shot like 90% of the shots, and I was like, why would we not play one of those two guys?
So then maybe this is the play then. Hold on. So maybe 3.5 rebounds is minus 140. He's done this in 15 of 17 home games this season, and he's done it in 5 straight games against the Warriors. So maybe that's the way to play Terrence.
He can clean up all those shots from Kawhi and George.
Exactly.
Actually, just from George, because Kawhi's are all going in. Anybody else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, I'll just throw this one out there because I just thought the implied value of this is really high. So Zubac, 1 block. It's terrible odds, minus 189, but I'm throwing it out there just in case people have, half a leg of a two leg parlay that they want to add something else to, like just say Clippers money line and then want to throw something else on it to make it plus odds.
Yeah.
It's currently minus 189, but he's done this in 9 out of his last 10 games. And if you look at the entire season, he's done this in 72% of the games.
Wow.
Right. So that's an implied odds of minus 256, and you're getting the value at minus 189. So I think that's good if you want to throw it with something else.
For sure, I like that. Yeah.
Okay,
that's good. The one other thing I wanted to bring up from this game. So over the last week, the Clippers are 27th in opponent 3-point attempts and dead last in opponent 3-point percentage. So Poole and Clay are probably people you're going to want to look at. I know the matchups in the front court. So actually Wiggins is probably the better. I don't know why there wasn't lines out on Wiggins yet. But Wiggins threes might be a good play tonight because forwards have been performing well, and you have this 3-point percentage that I think we might be able to take advantage of.
Oh no, Wiggins is out.
Oh, Wiggins is out. Okay,
Wiggins is out. That just
Kawhi.
That's just even more reason to play Kawhi. Who's going to defend him?
Draymond, right?
Draymond or Kuminga or something. I don't know. It's gonna.
Yeah, Clay.
It's Kawhi Day. Go nuts on that. All right, cool. Let's move on. We got the Wizards at the Blazers. That's our is that our final? Yeah, that's our final game. Blazers are -3. Total is 235.5. I had a hard time finding a lot on this, but I'm hoping you came up with something.
Yeah, I got a couple here. Combo guards on both sides are who we can look at, and then additionally bigs against Portland. Here was what I liked over the last week. Portland is dead last in opponent shot attempts at the rim. So I wanted to look at and you have the big matchup as well. So that was calling for Mr. Daniel Gafford.
Oh, that's not the big I thought you were going to say.
Well, Porzingis doesn't score at the rim. So
yeah, that's true.
That's not his game. So I wanted to find the big whose game coincides with where Portland has been miserable lately. So that's Gafford. It's 10.5 points, -120. I like this because 71% of his shots are at the rim. That's 80th percentile. And he's shooting 83% on those shots, which is in the 96th percentile. Yeah.
So he's basically dunking the ball.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
He's done this in just the last 5 of 10 games. But the teams he did clear this against were New Orleans, Charlotte, and Indiana, which are all top 5 teams that are like to target bigs against. So I think this matchup is really calling out for Gafford here. So that was all I had on the Washington side. I have 2 on Portland. You said you had none in this game, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you look, I'm just looking at his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games.
Yeah.
He hasn't scored less than 9 points.
Yeah, he gets 9 all the time.
9 all the time. But the part of it is because he only takes 4 to 5 shot attempts a game, like 5 to 6 shot attempts a game. So he needs to shoot 80% to get to this mark.
Yeah.
He might also be a good guy to put like a parlay together on, 9 points and block. A block. He's done that in 9 out of 10 games.
Ooh, that might be the way to go. 9 points and a block.
I actually like that better because there's a good chance, he won't get to that 10.5, but 9 seems like a sure thing for him.
We'll look at that before we post up on Twitter. That might be. I'm going to make a little note here, Gafford.
All right, you heard it here first. live parlaying.
How the sausage is made. 9
exactly.
points and 1 block. Okay. The other ones I liked. So Washington, like I mentioned earlier, Washington was the number 1 team to target combo guards against. They've since been surpassed by the Kings, but they're still a great target. So Anfernee Simons is the combo guard for the Portland Trailblazers. His line tonight is 20.5 points. It's -125. He's done this in 7 of 8 on a back-to-back this season. And in the 1 miss, he had 20 points. His last 2 games against Washington, he had 33 points against Washington on February 3rd.
Okay.
Why do you think? Because he's a combo guard. And 31 points last season against Washington at the end of last season. So I think this is calling for a play here. He seems to do really well against Washington, and it makes sense. So I like that.
Yeah, it seems like a good play.
Yeah. And I had one other. Drew Eubanks.
Oh, God.
So Washington, I didn't point these out yet. Washington is 27th in opponent mid-range shot attempts, 30th in opponent field goal percentage at the rim, dead last in opponent field goal percentage at the rim. That's what drew me to Eubanks here. And they're also 27th in opponent three-point percentage. So you have really bad – they've actually been pretty bad across the board over the last week or so. So Eubanks takes 65% of his shots at the rim. That's 72nd percentile. And he's shooting 82%. That's 93rd percentile. And then from mid-range, 32% of his shots come from mid-range. And he's shooting 51% from mid-range, which is in the 87th percentile. So he's just knocking down the ball here.
Yeah.
His line's 8.5 points, -110. He's done this in 3 of 5 games at home without Nurkic in the lineup, which he continues to be out of the lineup. So I got Eubanks and Daniel Gafford, 2
Oh man,
real sexy picks in this game. Yeah.
Were either of them selected for the All-Star game?
No. Yeah.
That's all good.
Yeah.
They're still in the top 450 players in the world.
That's true. That's true.
All right, cool. That does it, right?
Yeah, that does it.
Let me give you one more. Let me give you one more fun statistic before we close.
Hit me.
So we were talking about Brook Lopez before.
Yep.
I was watching the game the other day. Do you know that he's got 103 3-pointers and 135 blocks this year? He's a 100 guy.
Wow.
Think about how dynamic you have to be able to do both.
Yeah.
So I was looking at that, and here's the craziest part. The first 8 years in the league, guess how many 3-pointers he had?
Under 100.
3.
Totally.
Three 3-pointers in
Wow.
the first 8 years of playing in the NBA. Like he was mostly on the New Jersey Nets and the Brooklyn Nets, but they totally didn't realize that this guy could shoot threes, and he was pretty dominant center. But
yeah, he totally he evolved his game, changed his game up to suit the league, to suit his team. That's not Giannis. Giannis doesn't need rim protection. Giannis needs shooting. So
it was the last year in Brooklyn that he started shooting threes, and he's been lights out since. So, so hopefully that gives you more confidence in Brook Lopez tonight.
All right, sounds good.
Very
nice
good
work.
Enjoy those games.
You too.